Hello and welcome to another edition of X Feed. Today, talking about why this is potentially the biggest bull run ever, or at least why my timeline thinks it is so. If this is your first time watching, we go live every single day and we talk about the craziness that is NFTs and Web3. And I've been posting a ton of shorts, and immediately I have to say that all over some of my videos, I'm already getting the comments spraying. It felt like it's been a while since we've had some hate on the videos, but it's happening and happening in full force. We are nearing the top. Apparently, this person's mom texted them, I've been buying cryptocurrency and everything online says it is going up, but my portfolio is not going up. Well, what do you mean? My balance is saying the same and not going up like everyone else. Which cryptocurrency did you buy? Sugar, my face is in the way. The United States one, USDC. All right. That's probably a clickbait engagement one, but hell, that's kind of funny. An underrated, hilarious Web3 thing that is during all of the marketplace drama, royalties, and no royalties, which feels like that is the new talk of the town, is Top Shot. Just keeps charging 5% as their user base dwindles like, Now, I think there's a big notion between people that are like more Web3, right? Like we say, oh, is this company or collection the Web3 ethos and whatnot? And it's always kind of felt since like the beginning, once Top Shot really started cranking out the packs, that it wasn't really their desire wasn't really to be within the Web3 realm or like that ethos around it, right? It's just like, hey, we're a product, we're selling things that are digital, and there's going to be a lot of ones out there like that, and that's totally fine. But it does bring up the fact that like it's normal for 5% on Top Shot, and a lot of these other marketplaces on different chains that aren't ETH have, these extra fees associated with it. And Magic Eden making a little bit of a change after some people were saying, we don't like what's going on here. Crypto Garga saying, great call from the Magic Eden team. 0% marketplace fees on Ethereum for a limited time. We've received amazing feedback and are grinding to improve your experience. We're also extending our diamond bonus collections past the original 48 hours. Let's run it. So yesterday we were highlighting, for some reason, only some of the Yuga collections. We're giving that extra diamond bonus. They're doing things more. I guess this is trying to get people trading these assets more. Have we seen that? Let's kind of go and check out the timeline here. This site is called cryptoslam.io if you're ever wanting to check it out. I think it's a pretty decent tool. But NFT sales volume is up 17% on the 24 hours. In terms of like the different blockchains, we have 34 million for Bitcoin NFTs on Ethereum, 22 million, Solana at 8 million, BNB at 1.5 million, Mythos chain at 1 mil, and then Polygon at 794 million. Guys, one day, clip this, we're going to see Root on here. Think about that. That's crazy. Tim Buckley getting pushed out of Vanguard for not allowing customers to purchase Bitcoin ETF is the most bullish news yet. He's one of the most powerful people on the planet, was C-suite exec at only 40 years old, Harvard MBA, and dad chief surgeon of Harvard's teaching hospital. That is nuts. If you haven't seen, again, Vanguard was one of the people that decided not to offer the Bitcoin ETF, and apparently that decision is going over horridly. We highlighted Artifact yesterday. We were waiting for their website to load. DCL blogger here highlighting what it looks like. I think, okay, looks pretty all right. A secondary rarity system. On top of animus species rarity, there's also element and element level rarity. And 39 species, 2 different modes. Again, another collection that's kind of in depth. Haven't seen it too much on my timeline other than people saying that the website looks cool. So curious if the reveal hasn't happened, that means, or I'm just not following enough CloneX people on the timeline. However, if you are in that collection or if you've seen, let me know what you think. What the hell is this? So we highlight Raoul Paul's take about how NFTs are the mid-left curve, the greatest curve ever. And they're going to be the best things to hold. And today, he's like, I don't want to shill a small token. Okay. Okay. Disclosure, I am long on my small SMEC bag, but I am genuinely curious if people have any reviews of Guac GG. Again, I'm not trying to shill. Okay, so, listen, we were saying it. Listen. I think the man could just like man up and post it. You know what I mean? Like Men used to go to war. Now we say, I don't want to shill before shilling something. That's crazy. I'm trying to get an idea of the project. As you know, I'm not a short-term trader either, so I'm not dumping on retail or whatever, and I'm too small to matter, as he says, with 230,000 views on this tweet. But what the hell is Guac? GG, improving Web3 with intuitive and gamified products that make tokenized economies rewarding and accessible. Trade, play, create, shop, learn, and earn. I really think there's a problem with the whole Web3 space. There's just so many collections, so many coins, so many everythings. Now, what we don't have is a whole bunch of metaverses, but the other side event happened last night. We did stream it. If you guys missed that, I did upload the video. We had like a glitch when I tried to do the live stream, so it's just under like the normal video tab, but everybody was on the BOIC bar twerking. We'll get more into responses and feedback regarding that, but kind of your good story of the day. Prince Pablo's biggest mistake since I entered ordinals. It was the last amount I had in my wallet too. Embarrassed and feeling sick, but I wanted to share just in case it reminds one person to double check stuff. One lucky person has just received a shiz load of money. So I guess there's something that went wrong with him trying to buy it in ordinals, but this person noticed that, saw the tweet, and said, hey, I've listed it back for you. Feel free to snag it, or we can do the trade. So there's your feel-good story of the day. Doesn't always happen. Now, we highlighted the bullish vibes. We highlighted the bullish vibes. Token Metrics putting out this huge post with a whole bunch of coins. I'm not going to go over all of the lists. However, if you're wanting to check them out for your own, it's at Token Metrics Inc. But the biggest bull run in history has begun. Be prepared. Be prepared. What movie? Think about it. I'll let you know in a minute if you don't know. In the next few months, many tokens could surge 50 to 100x. So this goes back to the notion of people that are wanting to get into Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin going to 50 to 100x? No, it's not. So whatever you put is not going to do that. And this is where we have the people that are going towards the meme coins, the shit coins, and everything else and trying to find altcoins. But of course, when you're kind of new, you don't realize for like the likes of Decentraland, that token's way up there on market cap, but like nobody uses it. Is there ever going to be like a bigger implementation? Is it just out of whack because it's a certain token? I kind of believe so. Again, I'm kind of biased just in my view. I think there's going to be a lot of other things that are better, that are going to iterate quicker than what they have. But still, the notion that 50 to 100x, this is going to be what people come into and look at. But they researched 100 plus altcoins, and these are 8 of our favorites. So again, if you want to check that out, it's at Token Metrics Inc. 339970 is single-handedly killing mutants on any run-up and cool-off. I don't get how some farmers are so allergic to money. MFR, if you don't brick the whole floor on every mutant you get and the floor moves up, you can actually make money farming. So I'm not really sure, and I haven't been paying attention to this, but it sounds like somebody either has a whole bunch of loans out on mutants, they just keep buying a whole bunch. I don't know if this is like trying to farm the blur points of some regard, or again, something to do with like a loan system like Blend. But I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. Apparently the mutant floor has been completely mucked with, but you know, this adds to the point of collections are offering staking, right? So for mutants, you're able to stake and earn ApeCoin as yield for it. And I guess that's not enough of a driver for somebody to not list it. And so when we keep going down the list here, our collection is going to be able to figure out how to incentivize people to not list it. I've seen suggestions of, hey, create these quests or something where it's you can only earn if you don't have something listed. We've seen, I think with grapes, where if you listed your grape, you lost your bunches that over time you're able to exchange for grape coin. But I think that arguably this is going to be something that's going to need to matter. Yo, what's going on, Harry Squad? Yo, my man. What's going on, brother? Hell yeah. Yo, Molten Lava, what's up? Floors are for undercutting, and floors are made of wood, so that's why we are cutting, baby. You mean to tell me a whole group of degenerates who bridge with the goal to explicitly make as much money as possible, as fast as possible, on fresh vaporware are dumping the tokens almost immediately? Insane. Now, I think he's talking about Blur here, but like Blur's not tradable, or sorry, for Blast. I don't think Blast is tradable unless I'm a complete fish here, and it's on like the secondary markets. But I've tried to check like crypto market cap earlier, and I've kind of like been like passively looking at things today, so excuse my ignorance on that. But like when I type in Blast here, oh, is this at this page created automatically using on-chain data? So we're at What? No, there's no way that's it. This is some like random shit coin. But either way, I think maybe it's the points or something. But the point still stands is that, you know, most people really moved over to just make money. And speaking of which, I lied. There's some absolutely hilarious stuff on Blast. Just watch someone win 32.98 ETH off a 0.02 ETH bet on YOLO Games. Most of his winnings came from someone who bet 30 ETH to win 2.98 ETH. That is tough. That is very tough. Now, I clicked on this because I was like, I don't really understand how it works. And it took me to this variation, but it was only able to swap the points. Because I guess like all the different Blast apps offer like points, incentives, and like a reason for people to go on them and earning this extra compounding yield, et cetera, et cetera. But I didn't see where the ETH one was, but maybe one day we'll do something crazy in here. Yeah, you gamble your points. So how do you, what's this? Like, is that referencing that the points are worth that much? Or is there like a different mode where you can put in the ETH? Now, this is kind of interesting. And I watched the clip fully because I realized on some other ones that I needed to do that. But in opinion, the possible reason behind why Senator Elizabeth Warren has put forth her anti-crypto bill. An interesting take by Perry Ann, especially since the Chamber of Digital Commerce has Brad Garlinghouse as a guest of honor at the benefit dinner in Las Vegas in May. So let's see what the rationale is here for Miss Warren trying to disrupt crypto.
Elizabeth Warren wants to bring forward central bank digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bitcoin is incongruent with a Fed coin. And so I think she wants to nip this in the bud. She wants to nip crypto and Bitcoin in the bud while we're still like a young,
Harry, what about the bud?
relatively immature and an organized community. Not to, I love our community, but we're nothing like the banking industry or the energy industry, much bigger, a lot more money, a lot more experience doing this stuff. So I think she's thinking, and I think a lot of the members on the bill think, well, no one cares about crypto. We, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We can sneak this one through. No one's gonna even notice because crypto and they're all thinking about FTX and all that SBF garbage. Everyone, a lot of crazy stuff's happened in DC in the past year with the crypto space. Mm-hmm. So I think this is a part of a plan to bring forth a CBDC in the United States, which obviously would be very problematic to freedom. And
it's funny the amount of people that have like been up on the hey, we know CBDC, yo keep that stuff on. Yeah, not today, baby. No deodorant, not feeling it. No thank you over there. Yo, that dude is a giga chat, Harry. Hell yeah, dude. So yeah, I just thought that clip was kind of interesting. Yo, Divine, hello, how are you? YOLO Games just got a bunch of big key opinion leaders. That's right, the KOL. Angel investors. It's LooksRare product. The original ETH version launched on the LooksRare site. Oh, okay, I remember that now that you bring that up. That's interesting. So that's going to be the most popular app on Blast for how long? Punk 7804 is a new bid of 4,250 ETH, 14 million, and just kidding, the 4,250 ETH bid has been removed. There are not a lot of people willing to spend 14 million on a JPEG, and there are 3 with aliens listed for 5,500 ETH or less. Buyers perhaps saying take it or a move on. I mean, listen, that do a lot of damage. Just like if we're talking about just like the general kind of upper echelon of the NFT. I mean, even if you take out like, let's say you remove like Bored Apes because they're up like 20, right? And you can get like almost any other collection, a whole bunch of them for that. Excluding like Bored Apes. If this person went in like the NFT market and just swept some things, oh my goodness, 4,200 ETH would be insane. Love that LookRare moved to make some money off their top competitors, L2. Yo, hell yeah. That's great. Okay, so there was a thread here that was highlighting different things from Blast, and I was kind of a noob within it, but if you've not bridged over to Blast, they basically like show you like a catalog of apps, but they just kind of put like a tag next to it for like sports, Gamblefy, a DEX, perp trading kind of deal. And so this is a really good thread if you don't follow Whale Swoosh. But to go over super quickly, YOLO. So Gamblefy collab with LooksRare, as Divine mentioned. Play YOLO, Poke the Bear, or Moon and Doom. There is BHOP, swap ETH for WETH or USDB. I recommend swapping a good percentage of your portfolios. You can use your WETH or USDB on other protocols below. Again, this is like an interesting kind of like network effect that I think is going to kind of really flush out here with this. Blade Swap claim free loot boxes daily without depositing. You can deposit USDB into the liquidity pool. District 1, SocialFi. Remember Friend Tech. Buy shares priced pretty cheaply. Lock LP into Sol and join for free gems. Bloom Finance, supply USDB. And again, all this stuff is just pretty much DeFi. And so I don't know what to think. Is this great because we have more DeFi? Is it going to take away from all these other L2s that were kind of doing something similar? It does, again, like what, the 2 billion they had locked before Blast officially kicked off. There's a lot of momentum within there. It's just, I'm curious how new and fresh people will find that L2, and if something else is going to come out and be like the flavor of the week, which it feels like we kind of go from like Say, Ordinals, Blast, what's gonna be the next one here. Just in, I'm not talking about Trudeau. BlackRock launches spot Bitcoin ETF in Brazil. So we're getting more and more Bitcoin ETFs around the world. We just know about the United States one. I'm pretty sure there's already one in Canada. Now Brazil's getting one. The capital is flushing in. So there was a post here that was kind of breaking down some of the stuff within Root, and somebody responded saying, This means in the third year we get the white paper. And we've been waiting for the white paper for absolutely ever on this, but it seemed that the vision got bigger with the Readyverse, Ready Player One, all those kind of collabs. And Aaron McDonald, the founder here, chimed in saying, actually, we have been spending a lot more time with experienced game producers, and the white paper meme works well for technical protocol launches, but it's not how quality games are launched. For some reason, Web3 gaming projects latched onto the protocol meme, I think, because it was expected for a token pre-sale. How games work should be discovered through fun gameplay, not by sending people to do homework on an academic paper. That's fair. But we like the white papers and all that kind of stuff because we gotta learn, and then when other people don't do their own research, you can find out what's going to be valuable. You know what I mean? Naruto and Crocs, guys, just an FYI, Doodles did it first. If it's an attention economy and attention is created on the timeline and in the group chats, why does the chain you're on matter so much? I mean, people just don't want to pay gas fees. To be honest, I think like what chain you're on is something that's going to go by the wayside. I think arguably this is kind of like the good old days. You know what I mean? Where we're doing this, we're figuring things out. I remember Q-Dog teaching me how to mint from contract, doing the Vogu mint, then I frigged it up. It was Stoner Cats. I think it was like Vogu and Stoner Cats, and Q-Dog was like the one who taught me about that. And, the things that we're doing right now with using the MetaMask and the certain wallets and the seed phrasing, I don't know. Do we think that that's actually going to be the way of future of blockchain users are going to interact with it? I don't necessarily think so. So I think like the idea of like what chain you're on matters so much purely just if something that's hyped up is also on there, right? Because I mean, all the capital and liquidity's on ETH. Why? Well, some of the top NFT collections are on there where, if Immutable X had a whole bunch of ones that were really running rampant, then people would say, oh, IMX is great. And so I don't know. I think it's somewhat of a moot point, but it does bring up the discussion of what's going to kind of change as we're moving along here. And this is why I said the golden days. Katsira's put this thing saying, I am thoroughly enjoying my time spent on the internet recently. I think we'll look back at these times in a few years and think, damn, those were the golden days. I absolutely loved that take. Now, Carl here having a pretty interesting thread of some different involvements within the Web3 space. But the quick TLDR is Paris Saint-Germain, which is like a huge football team. They're into esports, all that kind of stuff, becomes a blockchain validator. We're seeing bigger companies come into the space. Google Cloud running one of the Ronin validators as an example. Fisher Sports launching Web3 initiative. Not really sure what Fisher Sports is. Sports Illustrated moves ticketing to AVAX. We have Dwight Howard on AVAX. Now we have Sports Illustrated, and Team Liquid launching Web3 loyalty program. Esports are coming. It's official, guys. Today we can share you with our collaboration with Yuga Labs for the creation of the 3D avatars for Bored Ape Yacht Club for Otherside Meta and beyond. Now I'm a little bit confused about this because is this like the rigging and everything we used yesterday for the other side trip, or is this something different? Because I mean, this looks like super high fidelity. Not that the ones that we had weren't, because obviously we were in the game, etc. But it feels like they're a little bit different. but it might exactly be the same. So, transforming icons, Polygon Mind and Yuga Labs successfully transformed Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT collection into 3D avatars for Other Side Metaverse. Okay, so it was the same. The BAYC collection is 2D, but Yuga Labs wanted to bring the apes to life in Other Side, its ambitious metaverse project. Polygonal Mind was brought on to transform them into fully functional 3D avatars in Other Side. We worked diligently to create 3D avatars that loyally respect the original collection style, while also adhering to the technical standards that allowed them to be deployed across a variety of platforms. So, the only takeaway that I have with this is because I tuned into the spaces that happened today that was the Other Side recap. And within that, they had Garga, Board Media Group, Phil, a couple of my friends that I know within the space, and they were kind of talking about it. And the way they spoke about mutants didn't leave me being like, yeah, that's going to be great. Because they were saying, yeah, like mutants, there's a lot more difficulty with the traits and this. And it sounded like it was going to be a chore. And if it wasn't even started to begin with. So I'm curious how that's going to work. I did find it really, really cool to be able to use my ape within that metaverse. Obviously, always paying attention to what's going on with BAYC, and having the fully rigged 3D avatars was something that has been on the roadmap for quite a while, which they highlighted. Now, we keep bringing up the collection just because Justin Bieber's involved with it, and I feel like it's kind of relevant and something you can tell maybe your normie friends if they come into the space, because they'll recognize him. But I guess on top of the hotel and airport offerings they have, I guess they're giving out like chains of these bears. So here are some behind-the-scenes shots showcasing the productions of our highly anticipated 925 sterling silver holders-only bear chains. To update everyone, hoodies are currently being received by holders, chains are in the midst of manufacturing, and canvases are officially ready for shipment. So again, we're still having a fair amount of the NFTs going out there and doing something that is kind of like merch or specifically IP-related. What's going to be the breakaway? Is that going to get huge just because the brand, the artist, and everything in the storyline around it? Or is it going to need to be integrated with something else? But at least it's on your radar. This, man, every day there's something with JJ highlighting what's going on. So there was a Twitter space today, and they were talking about moonbirds. And it was like a Yuga space. And so it was asked, what's the next step for moonbirds? And then Josh saying, I don't think we have an answer for that yet. This is how the acquisition is going, guys. Now, I don't know if Josh necessarily has the answers for that, or he's just kind of getting on board, or if there is actually like yeah, we're going to put moonbirds in the game, but there's not a whole lot of other thoughts or aspects to it. So this fluff sold today. And man, I was racking my brain of like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, listen, I'm bullish on the collection, but why the hell is somebody spending 9 ETH right now when the floor is like below an ETH on Blur, right? And so with this, they have a POTA, which is like a 1 of 5 and the background. And so for anybody that doesn't know, it's one of the rarer backgrounds, but you can end up getting 5 fluffs, the POTA, which is like around 2 ETH, and this background for the same price, which I highlighted. However, when you go and wallet watch just a little bit, they're picking up other deeds. They're picking up Clone X's. They have a Zombie MFer. They got a Meebit, and they got a Bored Ape as well. And so from my point of view, they just went to the collection. They searched the traits. They grabbed the rarest thing they could, again, a 1 of 5. And bought it. And it looks like they did pretty much the same. The Daggermouth is really rare. This Clone X looks hella rare. Zombie MFer. Meebit, not really. I don't know what's going on with that one. And the other deed, I can't tell without seeing the extra insight. But, man, do we say it? We're back. After playing Nifty Island for weeks, that Other Side demo felt very flat and lame. I want to build, compete, race, and be with my NFTs with my friends. It seems like Other Side is years away from being remotely close to a fun game. So, not to be too judgmental about anything, but I did walk away from the event yesterday being like, all right, I took a pic with JVB, and I saw a whole bunch of other of my friends within here. I streamed and Harry Swan was in the chat yesterday, W. And that was like the memory for me, right? Like I didn't really find like I loved the gameplay. It felt like there could have been a little bit of extra instructions. Again, the picture taking was kind of like the best aspect of it. And people were praising them saying, oh, that person deserves a raise. But I think like I just wanted like an ounce of extra depth with it. And obviously, when you're comparing the different sessions, the other ones were like a single instance where this kind of felt like a big open world, and it was really, really cool to see. But for me, my biggest takeaway was just like the friends were involved with it. So I was hoping to see a little bit more, but we'll see what the other side is cooking. So not to re-bring this up, but it's interesting because Pac-Man here is saying for their decentralized apps, you can give points, or you get points, gold, and people have their own airdrops if you put money into their applications. But right now, many dApps are still in the process of integrating with the points API to do this. As they progress, you'll see this reflected in your airdrop page more clearly. And that said, we're actively thinking how to improve incentive design beyond this. Getting some pizza and beer, me, Shelzy? Hell yeah, bro. So one of the main reasons that I keep talking about Root Network is like, obviously I'm in that, right? Like, full disclosure, I'm in that. If you're not, that's cool. If you never get in it, that's cool. But when people are looking at Blast and you see all these people on the timeline saying, oh, I bridged Blast and we're earning all these rewards, there's a reason for it, is because the incentive structure is getting much more vicious isn't the correct word, but I'm going to use it because it's more powerful in kind of the PvP between why to use this chain, why to use this one, what's the incentive, the enforced marketplace royalties, the questions, all this kind of stuff. And when we have Root, basically how it works is if you stake Root, when anytime there's a transaction, whether it be from a token, whether it be from an NFT transfer, all of that stuff goes back into this Vortex token that you can unwind to get all of these kind of underlying assets. And when an application comes on board, they can be like, hey, we're going to give 10% of our entire token supply to the Vortex. So then all of a sudden, people that are staking Root now are onboarded to that collection the exact same way that we have points for all of these different Blur protocols. However, I think it's going to be actually where you're going to get the token immediately. And so, again, with Blast, I bridged over, right? I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be cool. But then it's like, okay, so we're having all these points and we're eventually going to get a token, right? And so it's like, okay, how long before these things happen? Obviously, with Blur, it took absolutely forever. So I just wanted to kind of re-highlight that aspect. Yo, Walk, what's going on? All this Blast stuff is too confused. I completely agree. Like, it's... Let me see if I can just bring it up here, because that's a great freaking point. Good to see you, by the way. Once we're in here. Okay, cool. So this is how it looks for anybody that's not gotten into it. And the way that it's showing is like everybody got like a 10x reward for whatever they put in before, as long as you did it kind of before the chain like fully launched here. And so I got like 10x points, and it's showing that I'm earning like 12 points per hour. I think these points are going to give me Blast tokens at some point. I have 1x multiplier, but you can earn multipliers by going into these different apps. And this is how it looks. So I want to zoom in just so you guys can see it a little bit better. But these applications get gold. You can earn points from being on them, and then it kind of shows what you get. And as I said before, perp decks, Gamify, sport decks, lending. And like, as an example, let's go to this IKB because we did highlight it yesterday. And we know that we're going to it. Daily fantasy sports made easy. I know better is the daily fantasy sports experience you love, powered by crypto. And then so like right away they tell you, can you play or can you not, depending where you live. So create an account and connect your wallet. Choose higher or lower on 2 to 5 player stats. The more picks you make, the more you can win. Time to sweat. If you win, you get paid out in USDC on base. But yeah, man, if you're in the United States here, are you available or are you not available for it? But then on the top here, it's like, okay, there's not really anything that shows how to put in tokens for this. What's the extra dealio? And so just in general, I think that the way this is going to work is just people are YOLOing into stuff like that YOLO and finding something that they like. But again, lending, NFTs, gaming. This one, this is the game that JVB joined me. There was a couple others, Danny Case. And it was, it was kind of a fun game, but it seems like that's one of like the only ones they have Wasabi here for NFTs gaming, space bar. But these are things I'm hearing about for like the first time with this. And so is it going to be great? Is it going to be awful? I have no idea, but I'm kind of just like, I'm going to leave this. I don't have any regrets, by the way. Some people are being like, damn, I should have put way more into Blast. Exactly like Walk here. I'm just like, I feel somewhat overwhelmed by it all. Short update on projects that had the airdrops pump meta and how they are going. So if you remember about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks-ish, 3, we've had some collections that just ran off of token speculation. We tried to go over the Sappy Seals one as well, but Sappy Seals went to 1.8, but now it's down to 1.2 in a week. Creeps 5 ETH down to 3 ETH, and Wassi's 2.4, 2.9 in a week. Well, I don't think we need to change direction. We can do a better job of allocating resources. Zoom out at Doodles. This is not shade on those projects. They're building cool stuff and hope they succeed. More of the perspective for the Doodles community. And as I've kind of always said with these things is the token, the NFT is going to move completely based off of the token price. And so the token prices were up, or there's an airdrop coming for creeps. Okay, is that token going to sustain? Is there actually any more of that allocation coming? If not, things kind of fall back down. So realize a lot of these pumps are based off of that, and that's why I'm very good at not foaming for like anything. And everyone liquid for ordinals. What's your thoughts on ordinals? It feels like that's something that again has the same narrative as almost everything else. However, it's connected to Bitcoin. So people that own Bitcoin, are they going to want to flex with these different things? Like, why do we have the rationale for why ordinals could be the next best thing? Attention, Trump digital trading cards collectors. Effective March 1st, Trump trading cards is migrating to Magic Eden as one of the leading marketplaces for Polygon NFTs. Magic Eden has set up a dedicated team to help you manage your Trump digital trading cards collection. Okay, so the Trump cards are moving to Magic Eden. Listen, Magic Eden is making moves here. Now, this is kind of a rip on Moonbirds and whatnot here, but I want to preface this with a little bit more. So first, Proof Town Hall post-acquisition, huge crowd of 66 people. Y'all ape MFers are weak. Okay, so when we've seen acquisitions across the space, right? We'll use Cool Cats and Futureverse as an example. So they partnered. I can't tell you how many people, besides maybe like 5 to 10 of the Futureverse community, pays attention to what's going on to the Cool Cats, or to that extent attends their events. It seems very weird within the space whenever there is a collaboration where it's like, oh, whoa, that's cool. And then nobody cares about the collection beyond that initial announcement. Now, I don't know how you change that, if there's a reason to change it. I'm sure people go and they check out the notes afterwards, similar to what we did yesterday, where we highlight, or maybe it was the day before, where we highlighted what's going on with Cool Cats Town Hall from like one of those AMAs. But it's still, it's just one of those things that is all the collections pretty much one-sided and people only care about their bags? Truey. Big time Truey. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny. But the there was one other thing that I wanted to bring up, but I feel like I didn't save it right. Let me go through my check marks. Oh, okay. So it's this. So if you're trying to move stuff and you are unfamiliar with like certain bridges, as an example, DSwap here is one. This isn't sponsored or anything, obviously. Match, we get a sponsor one day. Sheesh. But this can trade like a lot from Arbitrum, Polygon, Linea, Optimism, Base, Neon, Avalanche, Ethereum. Might be some if you want to just save on your browser for like a rainy day. If you happen to get into some wild thing, somebody gives you something that you can't find an exchange for, and you're like, okay, what one's like legit? I've used this. It's app.dbridge.finance, and it was great for like the 2 times that I ended up using it. So just wanted to highlight that one. And for the Scream NFT that we highlighted yesterday, which is funny because this is what my dad sent me. And most of the things he sends are either articles or something that's being minted on the OpenSea page. So for context, when you think of like NFTs and whatnot, as kind of a veteran that you are, you're like, okay, OpenSea is kind of But for newer entrants, OpenSea is still one of like the go-to marketplaces for people that are newer to the space. It is. So this Scream that was coming out, 0 volume right now, 0.1 floor. There's 3% listed. 254 of the 380. Now, what's hilarious about this is this was 780 when we went over it the other day. So they canned the mint in half, and it's not sold out. which brings me back to the early days of when collections used to like only care about selling out, and people deemed it a failure if it didn't immediately sell out. Molten lava. I thought those were cool. What did they end up selling them for? So I think these are going for 0.065. 0.065. So that's probably, it's probably like 250, 250-ish, maybe a bit more. 250, 250. I don't know, 250. But just to go over, Edvard Munch is universally renowned for a series of creations entitled The Scream. This particular rendition of The Scream is lithograph, created using a printmaking technique wherein the artist draws or paints directly onto a stone or metal plate. This plate is then utilized to produce multiple copies of the image. This expressionist artwork, housed in the Art Institute of Chicago, features bold, swirling lines, a distorted perspective, inscriptions like "Get Try" and "Ich will das groß Getry durch die Natur." Wow, that was awful. Add layers of meaning, reflecting the artist's intentions. Element X have partnered with Bridgman Images with explicit permission to bring The Scream 1895 by Edvard Munch into the digital collectible world. Now, this has taken me back for a minute, but there was a collection that had rights to do or they thought they had rights to sell NFTs that were the Star Wars helm that were designed by different artists within the space. And so they sold them and then they got sued. So hopefully OpenSea and these Elmon guys really did their due diligence and made sure that all the I's are dotted and T's crossed. Divine, listen, you speak German. I'm assuming that was German. You speak? Hell yeah, guy. Hell yeah. Love to see it. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of XFeed. I appreciate you tuning in. Of course, we do these every single day. And if you've enjoyed this episode and you're wanting to relive what happened yesterday, the day before, or at the beginning of this year, where, I try to throw out like some predictions and things at the time, and maybe we'll go back and look at the videos, but it's wild to see from, 2-3 months ago, what we were excited about to where we are here on March 1st. So happy March 1st to you and yours. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you on a Monday. Peace.